Hello, look what I've got. It's Morser Karl-Gerat 040-041, and it's a mortar, heavy mortar. Apparently it's a siege mortar. As you can see, it's a pretty massive box, and the model itself, the finished article, I've put this bit of track together, taken it out, put it together, track bed I should say, to give you an idea of scale, and that's 35 inches long, which is, as you know, it's an inch shy of a yard, almost a metre. Huge bit of kit. Just move stuff around here. I don't normally do these unboxings, but I think it's time to give it a go. I've had to do this one outside on a deck, so you'll be able to see all sorts of shadows. Sorry about that. It's simply too big to put on my desk, and lots of artwork on the box. I know a lot of people like the artwork. Let's have a look on the side. On the side there shows you various pictures, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks very intricate. The photo etch, not an awful lot of it, but there's some in there. Some of it's black for some reason. Same picture as on the top, and again on this side the same picture as on the top. This side gives you a picture of the kit as it's more or less finished. Well, it is finished, and apparently it comes with two different bore guns. The 040 model is this size mortar, which is a 600mm mortar, and the 041 version has a longer barrel and fires a 500mm mortar. I'm fairly sure that's what I read, and the short mortar will only fire a 2-ton shell for a short distance, and it's a lot further with the 500mm. But that's irrelevant because we're not going to fire it. It doesn't work. As you can see on there on the front, it shows you the two different versions there. Apparently from the instructions as well that I've read, you can have it in a firing mode or a travelling mode. So there's two different, that makes 4 different versions of it really. Have a look inside. And as you would expect, the box is full. There's a fairly hefty instruction booklet there. It looks fairly complex. It seems to lead you through what you need to know quite simply. Lots of easy to read diagrams. 43 pages in total, which is quite a hefty instruction book. Then your painting diagram on the back, which basically consists of overall dark grey, is what it says on the top there, and that's your painting diagram. Obviously when it's weathered, the weathering will break it down a bit. You couldn't just leave it as it is. It'd be horrendous, wouldn't it? A few transfers, decals as they call them now, to go on it. This is the box that the track bed came in, so that's empty. The rest of the track here, and I've looked at a few videos of this, and I must have been very lucky. This one is more or less straight. A lot of the videos that I've looked at, it's warped in all sorts of directions. So I must have been very lucky that this one is nice and flat. There are a few issues apparently with these sleepers, but I'll deal with those as we go along with the build, and we'll see how we get along with it, see how we solve the issues. Inside, huge amount of plastic. Loads and loads and loads of plastic. I'll lift it up the other way. Loads and loads and loads of plastic. Pull that one out and have a look at it. None of them are opened. I'm not going to open them now. As you can see, there's loads and loads of detail on there. They look pretty precise, and tapping a plastic seems like quite hard plastic as well, which is a good thing. It's much easier to work with. It looks fairly precise as well. There are no bits of flash. There don't seem to be any. There are some injection pin marks on the back, but I'm guessing that that's not going to be seen. Again, on there are some injection pins, but hey, you know, that's part of it, isn't it? You file them down, fill them in, and carry on. That's part of the job. Loads of plastic in that side. This side, literally just as much. Huge amounts of it. Now, one thing that I noticed with this when I bought it is that as I say, there's loads in it, is that the tracks that they supply with it is basically a rubber band, and I didn't like that at all. I think they're in here. Nope, they're not in there. In here you've got some metal bits, a couple of metal axles, some springs which are apparently for the recoil action on the gun itself, a fret of photo etch, and another one on the back. Actually, it's not black, it's aluminium coloured, isn't it? It doesn't really matter, it's all going to get painted. But why they've used one brass one and one aluminium one, who knows? A few decals, as I say, there's not much on it at all, and little poly rings so that you can make the wheels turn. That would be the railway wheels that go in there. That's that. Let me get the track out, it must be in this one. So the rest of the hull, that's the bottom of the hull, all comes in one piece, which I suppose may be a good thing. It saves you getting it twisted, for example, but it looks really quite detailed, and it looks really quite well finished off. And it's been fettled in the factory where they made it, because there's no flash, no injection pins. It's really quite a nice piece of plastic, that. Yeah, very nice. So that's that. The thing that let it down for me is this. A rubber band, basically, for the tracks. It's reasonably well detailed, but for me, I didn't like it at all. I don't like it. So what I've done, you've got two of them, obviously one for each side. So what I've done is put this away. I bought a kit with the tracks in it, which is the hardest part of this, getting the box open. The plastic one, and it's a workable track. Hundreds of little bits in there, which are all the same, the correct tracks. And then so that's the tracks themselves, and the little pins. Now the instructions are very vague on it, but what I'm assuming is that you push that tiny pin through a tiny hole, I don't know if you can see one, on the side of the track itself, glue it into place, then cut it off, and that's all that holds the thing together. But then again, you know, it's not a toy, you're not going to brum it around the room. Well, I'm not, and it should work quite well. The instructions come printed on the box, which is a new idea. Saves a bit of paper, I suppose. And as I say, it shows you the tracks. There's a little template so you can put the tracks in it, and you push the pin in on either side, and then I'm assuming you cut them off. So that's the tracks that I bought with it for it. I'll put those in there. What you need to be careful of when you're buying the tracks, I nearly fell into the trap of it. As you can see on all the information on this, it tells you it's the initial version. I'll pull that out so you can see it properly. Initial version. There's another version, a later version, of the same thing. They look very similar, but the tracks are different. So I had to search around for really quite some time to find the tracks at a reasonable price for this model, and you need to make sure that all that comes out the same on the two descriptions. What else is there in there? That's about it, really. I've also bought, which I won't be doing for a little while, but this railway gun, obviously it has to be towed into position. I'm reading this off because I can't remember. It's a Brohe 52 locomotive, steam locomotive, which is a German steam locomotive. Obviously it's a German gun, you'd have a German locomotive to pull it. And that is about the same size as this, unbelievably. The steam engine with the tender is about the same size as this, so the whole thing comes out at nearly 2 meters. You need a fair old shelf to put it on. Other than that, it's going to take me a while. I reckon it's going to take me a couple of weeks to sort the track out. There's a huge amount of it. By the time I've glued all that together, then painted it, that's going to take some time. I'll let you know how we get on. I'll do the videos as always, and I'll speak to you next time. If you've got any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comments area below, and it'd be great if you would like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Ta-da.